Hello all. Today let us talk about constitution. So, constitution is a familiar term for all of us. If we read newspapers and watch television channels, we will come across this particular word called constitution. So today let's see what is constitution. So the constitution, the word is derived from the Latin word constiture, which means to establish. Latin word constiture means to establish, and it is a fundamental law of the state. Fundamental law of the state. It includes the rules and regulations for the working of a state. So here there is a connection: law, rules and regulations. So we can say that it is a basic guideline for the working of a state. That is how it determines the structure and functions of a state. So an entire state, for its administrative and governmental activities, they will be depending completely on the constitution or the set of rules and regulations. Okay. It may be written or unwritten in nature. Written means most of its principles and regulations will be written in format, and unwritten means most of its regulations and rules will be rules we are getting from the tradition, customs, conventions, and so on. Some examples are American Constitution 1789, the same year in which the French Revolution occurred. Then Constitution of Japan 1947, India got independence in the same year. Then Constitution of India, January 26, 1950, India became a republic. So the Republic Day of India is connected with the Constitution of India. So what is the meaning and definition of constitution? So here MacIver, he mentioned that law which governs the state and which represents the will beyond that of the state. So here also it comes law and governing of the state. So government and law is very important when it comes to the definition of constitution. Then A.V. Dicey, he says that all rules which directly or indirectly affect the distribution or the exercise of sovereign power in the state. So everything is dealing with the rules and regulations and the laws for the effective functioning of a government. So in simple terms, we can call it as a set of rules and regulations for the effective functioning of a state. So in simple terms, it is the set of rules and regulations for the effective functioning of a state. Then what are the features of constitution? It must be definite and clear. It should not be vague and ambiguous, because a whole country or a whole nation is depending upon this particular document for its administrative setup. So it should be clear and definite. There should not be any confusion in the process. Then it should be comprehensive enough to cover all the information related to governance, because we have only one document, one particular document for the entire administrative and governmental machinery. So it should cover all the information related to governance, and it should contain provision for amendment. So the question is, what is amendment? Amendment means as time goes on, there will be a lot of changes happening in our social, economic and political life. So based on those changes, there should be changes in our laws and regulations also. So in order to do that, there should be an option in our constitution for changes and updation. That option of change and updation is known as amendment. So for a proper constitution, there should be a scope for amendment. That is what it is mentioning. Then let's discuss the types of constitution. Generally there are 4 types of constitution. One is written or enacted, unwritten or evolved. Written means all the laws and regulations will be written in format, and most probably all these laws and regulations are formed through a constituent assembly or a group of people sit together and they will make the laws. Unwritten or evolved constitution means it will be depending on the traditions, customs and conventions. Then comes rigid and flexible. Rigid and flexible is mainly dealing with the amendment procedure. If the amendment is very difficult in a constitution, we can call it as a rigid constitution, and if the amendment is easy in a constitution, we can call it as a flexible constitution. So it is flexible for amendments and it is rigid for amendments. So in this session we were